Well, as you can see, we're getting ready. We're putting all our equipment in there so then we could drive up there to the quarry. And we're pretty much waiting for orders. I actually bought some knee pads, so it might be a good idea. This is going to be good.
During the winter months, the snow caused the cliffs around the quarry to bury the tarp which was covering the bones. So it's going to take a while for us to get the tarp off. But while we're doing that, let's let Green Shirt Tyler tell us about the Jurassic. Well, this may be a cattle ranch now, but 150 million years ago, this place was a floodplain. When we look at the age of dinosaurs, there are 3 periods of geologic time that make the Mesozoic. First, we have the Triassic, which was home to the first dinosaurs. Next, we have the Jurassic period, which was home to Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Allosaurus. And the famous Stegosaurus, of course. And last but not least, we have the Cretaceous period, which was home to Triceratops and T-Rex. But on this dinosaur dig, we're going to pay attention to the Jurassic period, because this is where these animals have lived and died. North America was a very different place during the Late Jurassic. Instead of flowering plants and grasses, we have ferns, cycads, and conifer trees, which dominated the landscape. Most of North America was a big floodplain, which was very like the Serengeti in Africa today. And just like the Serengeti, there were dry and wet seasons. Life was hard in the Jurassic, but dinosaurs thrived here. Like the great, big, and famous sauropods. Well, right down here in this white plaster case is the sauropod hip bone, which me and Rodney discovered on my first dinosaur dig here. And since then, we have found so many other sauropod bones, and we found some cervical vertebrae, which is the neck, and a lot of caudal vertebrae, which is the tail. And now we're working on the ribs and the torso. It's a really big dinosaur. Sauropods came in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Well, mostly big sizes. In this quarry, we're dealing with a Camarasaur. Back in 2010, on my first dinosaur dig, we had no idea that this dinosaur was in this quarry. We were trying to dig to the Stegosaur layer, which is right below. And as we were digging there, we hit bone. When we started excavating it, we noticed that this bone was huge, and right away we knew we had a sauropod. At first we thought it was a vertebrae, but it turned out to be the hip bone of this dinosaur. We named this sauropod Ava, named after the granddaughter of the ranch owner, which was born on the same day we discovered this dinosaur. Ava is not the only sauropod found in this area. In 2005 through 6, Nate and his team discovered a Camarasaur. But it was a new Camarasaur. A new species, with a new skull. Nate named it Montanosaurus wildeni. With Montanosaurus on the left and a regular Camarasaurus on the right, you can see that they are very different species indeed. The question is now, is Ava too a Montanosaurus? Well, we don't know. However, the neck vertebrae is articulated, and we're following it up. Hopefully on that end of the neck, we'll find that skull. But Ava is not the only dinosaur in this quarry. Before we found the sauropod hip, we were working on some stegosaur skeletons. There's at least 4 of them in this quarry alone. So that can prove that Stegosaurus were gregarious, which means they've traveled in herds. And the plates are very unusual here. Never seen like it in the world. We might have something new here. Stegosaurus is one of the most iconic dinosaurs around. In this quarry, the bones were all scattered about, which suggests that when these animals died, they were on the surface for a while, and as their bodies rotted away, their bones scattered, and then they were buried. What's odd about this quarry is that we have both triangular and oval-shaped plates, which are not on the same animal. In fact, one of Nate's interns, Evan, from Princeton University, has done a very interesting study on our Stegosaurs. He believes that this might be the difference between male and female. Evan's work is very interesting, and I suggest you read his article. I'll leave a link in the description below if you would like to learn more. But as for the function of the plates, no one really knows what they're really meant for. But if we look closely at these plates, we can see that they're full of blood vessels, which suggests that a Stegosaurus could pump blood through these plates and actually blush. This could be used to attract mates, or to warn predators about... don't worry, parents, it says back off. Just don't listen to that. To warn predators about its spiky tail, because if they get too close, they're in for a deadly surprise. The tail was used to fight off predators such as Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus. Hey, I think the team just found something.
Hey guys, well, it turns out we were shoving away this cliff a little bit during, we're trying to get all this tarp out. We actually come across a caudal bone, which is, for you that don't know, that's a tail vertebrae, possibly from the sauropod, so we'll find out. And I'm just about to dig this out.
It's part of the tail? Oh, the end, near the part of the, near the end of the tail, because it gets swallowed out.
Alright, so my plan is to we can get the rock around the bone and then try to get this pod out, and then once that's done, I'll take the bone out. Well, this is part of the caudal bone that was out. Matt is actually dealing with the end I just got there. He's hiding it from us.
Got a bit of dirt over here as well.
I pretty much got the edge, but this guy pretty much found the whole thing. So.
Yeah, I smashed it with a shovel.
Well, that's what happens.
Got the whole bone in one go. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's how you find the. You do realize the hips were found that way. With a
Yep,
shovel.
and I was there to witness that. Jeez.
Breaking bones by accident is a common thing in a dinosaur quarry, but with a little patience and some super glue, this bone will be ready in no time for display. It took about an hour or so to get the tarps finally off, but once we did, it was smooth sailing. Well, at least I wanted to believe that.
Finally, we got the tarps off.
Now this is where the real work begins. First, we dig around the quarry to see if we missed any dirt that slid in on the quarry. Next, we take some awls, buckets, and scoopers to scoop away the surrounding rock around these bones. It's a real thrill for all of us to uncover these bones. These bones haven't seen the light of day for at least 150 million years. Well, it's time to call it a night. We'll do a lot more tomorrow. But I keep on hearing these strange noises. Well guys, it's time to go to bed. We found a lot of stuff today, but we'll probably find even more stuff tomorrow, so well, I guess this is good night.